The second half, so Sam Carpenter will put a toe into it. TJ Green stands by with his heels on his own end zone, and he'll watch this one sail over his head for a touchback. We'll get a look at this BC offense first. Kendra Douglas is the third member of our crew, though. Let's check in with her first.
Well, guys, Pitt making the news official that they will go with the freshman quarterback in Mason Heintschel, starting over Eli Holstein. Now, I was able to watch both of them warming up today, and talking with offensive coordinator Cade Bell, you can tell he has really high praises on Mason, calling him a guy he's not afraid to put in there. The coaching staff, they really like his strong arm, his work ethic, the way he prepares. So this will be a big moment for that young QB as he takes the field soon.
Turbo Richard in the backfield with Lonergan. He had a huge game last week against Cal, finally breaking through. Lonergan throws it to him in the flat, but he's tracked down. Maybe broke 2-3 tackles before he's finally tackled for a loss of about 3. Cruz Brookins, who this coaching staff loves from a strong safety position, making the stop. There's Dylan Lonergan's numbers.
Yeah, like we said last week, struggled a little bit in the second half. In that game last week, their first drive, they marched all the way down the field and scored. He's at his best when that completion percentage is above 70%. Heading into last week's game was at that 75% mark. You can tell with that first throw, they're trying to get him an easy completion to allow their young quarterback to settle in this game.
Play clock under 5. Turbo. Very little room to run, maybe a yard. Sean Fitzsimmons, 55 on the tackle.
It's a nice job by Fitzsimmons in the middle. They're going to need the defensive tackles to show up big. Pitt's a little bit thin at the defensive end spot today. No Jaden Moore again. Blaine Spires was a game-time decision. It's an aggressive Pat Narduzzi and Randy Bates defense that's going to come at you and try to put you in situations like this, 3rd and long. Usually when BC's in this scenario, they like looking towards number 11, Lewis Bond, in the slot towards the top of the screen.
Pitt comes with just 4, so Lonergan has time and has a receiver near the first down marker, but he's going to be brought down just a little shy. That's Reed Harris. He gives Lonergan a bigger target, but he wasn't able to get to the first down marker. Shadarian Harrison making the stop. And it appears to be a 3-and-out for BC to start this game.
It is a nice job by Lonergan getting the ball out of his hands towards the check down. Reed Harris is their number 2 receiver. Really operates the outside lane. Thought there is a world where maybe they go for it. If they were 10 yards further, maybe closer to the 50, they probably would. But Bill O'Brien's going to elect to punt it here on the first possession.
Seamus Florio. It's a good kick. Bounces out of bounds at about the 24. That's where Pitt will take over. And Mason Heintschel, the freshman quarterback out of a Toledo suburb of Oregon, Ohio, will make his first career start.
A lot of people excited about this true freshman, and I mentioned it in the open. Yes, Eli Holstein's play certainly had a factor in this decision with why they go with the true freshman, but I think just as much as anything, they believe in the upside of what Heintschel can be. They feel like they very much have a diamond in the rough with this young quarterback, giving him the reins early on in this season, and it'll be interesting to see how different this offense looks.
Tight end in motion. He'll give it to Goff. He's got nowhere to go. Right into the teeth of that defense. Edwin Kalenge and company stopping Goff. Mentioned in the open, these teams have played each other quite often, not only as members of the ACC, but they were both in the Big East for a number of years, and then in the 70s and 80s as Eastern independents. They played just about every year during those 2 decades. Goff again in the backfield. Heintschel will throw. As a receiver, completes it on the edge. Gain of about 5 yards to his tight end, Justin Holmes. Good to see Max Tucker in on the tackle, number 3 for Boston College. He was banged up, that left elbow. Look at the padding on that left elbow.
Yeah, well, I was not expecting to see him today. It's a thin defensive back unit, especially at corner for BC. That's huge, having Max Tucker back. This is the scenario that was so key, vital for Pitt a week ago. A lot of 3-and-outs. Offense wasn't very efficient. Got to find a way to protect your defense.
BC come with pressure on the edge. Heintschel gets rid of it and completes it right at the yard marker. That's Kenny Johnson, and they're going to move the sticks.
It's a nice job by the young quarterback, hanging in the pocket. Defensive back blitz him, takes the shot, but gets the ball out of his hands. And finding Kenny Johnson, who's a receiver, they want to get him more involved in the rotation. Big body receiver. I'd look for them to look number 2's way more on third down.
And now they got the first down. They want to move quickly. Goff picks up about 2.
Right there, you see Joel Goff getting both carries, which means Desmond Reed, who's been questionable, the star All-American running back for Pitt, is likely out in this game. Really changes the complexion of this offense. He was a weapon not only in the ground game, but the pass game especially. Didn't allow defenses to blitz because they were so fearful of Desmond Reed being available.
Heintschel steps up into the pocket. Now he bounces it outside, just going to look to get what he can. And it's about 3 to the 41. Omar Thornton tracked him down.
This, to me, is the interesting part of Heintschel's game that we'll see evolve. Obviously, it's his first start, but the mobility. I mean, they said he has some mobility. Legs are very much part of his game. You can see it a little bit there. Holstein, they also had some design quarterback runs at times. Right there, doesn't necessarily look like a burner, make you miss in space type of guy, but enough to keep you honest when the pocket breaks down.
BC showing a little bit of pressure. They bring 4. It's picked up right at the first down marker. It looks like that's going to be enough. Malachi Thomas making the catch. And for the second time on this drive, Heintschel finds a receiver right at the sticks, and they'll move him.
This is an excellent job by Malachi Thomas. That second effort got that first down. That first point of contact, he was short of the sticks. He's able to pick it up with that second effort.
Goff in the backfield, switches over to Heintschel's right. He'll get the carry. Tries to bounce it outside, picks up a yard. Boston College, we're going to see a lot of new names for the Eagles on defense. This is just a small list right here on the left of players that are out.
It's a small list, but it's pretty much half their starters. Davion Crouch, their best defensive player at middle linebacker. We'll get to the rest after this play.
Heintschel tried the back shoulder. Covered well by Cunningham, but we got a flag right at the point of attack. The freshman Ashton Cunningham is going to be called for pass interference. O'Brien not too happy with the call.
Pass interference, defense number 14. The ball we placed at the spot of the foul. It's an automatic first down.
John Noley's our referee today. Ashton Cunningham, one of the freshmen pressed into action because of all the injuries.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of true freshmen play for BC on this defense.
It's a 15-yard penalty.
Cunningham's playing because Amari Jackson and Zaire Torrance, their 2 starting corners to start the year, they're both out. We talked about Davion Crouch, middle linebacker, he's out. Bryce Steele, the backup to Crouch, he's out going into this game. And then maybe most notably their best pass rusher, Q Hutchins, on the outside lane that, you know, he had to replace Donovan Ezeraku, who was a second-round pick a year ago. That's a big loss for a defensive line, but Bill O'Brien, he said it's not a dire situation. You got a lot of defenders that can be interchangeable defensive position-wise.
Omar Thornton's one of those defenders who's made a couple of big plays on this drive. They're tracking down Jakirian Turner. They call him Bootsy. Didn't have anywhere to run on that play, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the one position I did not talk about being thin is that safety spot. Omar Thornton getting involved at the line of scrimmage there, and then KP Price is their other safety that they love.
Poppy Williams was in the backfield. Now he sprints out. Heintschel avoids 1 or 2 tacklers, still on his feet as he cuts it inside down to the 25. Big ovation from the crowd here at Acrisure. 14 yards and another first down.
Seeing a little bit of that wiggle. The young quarterback's elusive. Really broke through those 2 missed tackles of the defensive line. Makes a guy miss in the second level. Little design quarterback draw. Oftentimes you see offensive coordinators go to that play with the young quarterback to not put them in a tough passing situation and allow them to make a mistake. Nice play there.
Option here. Turner, room to run. Finally run out of bounds after a good pickup on first down. Enough to move the chains once again. 12th play of this drive coming up. It's been methodical for Pitt.
From true freshman to true freshman. See Heintschel read that defensive end, get the pitch out, and you can see the burst right there from Turner. They're excited about this young running back, excited to have him back too. Had a really strong spring, banged up during fall camp, but his role continues to grow every single week.
Fake to Goff. Nice job to get the defender to commit inside the 5. Touchdown, Pitt. And it's Justin Holmes, his second of the year. Panthers on top early.
Officials timeout on the field for injury.
As Holmes celebrates with his teammates, we have an injured Pitt Panther. It's Jeff Percy, the transfer from Michigan, at that left tackle spot. And it's a Pitt offensive line already missing Keith Gouveia, the starting left guard, and now the starting left tackle is banged up. But the Panthers up early by 6. Hopefully he'll be all right.
It's a big loss. This matchup last year, they were on their 3rd string left tackle, went in the portal to shore that up in the offseason, and both those transfers, like you said, Chris, are down.
Freshman Trey Bukowski, been a revelation for Pitt at the field goal kicker spot, splits the uprights. We'll take a quick break again. Panthers up 7-0 on this touchdown. The freshman Heintschel finds his tight end Holmes.
This season made some nice throws, saw his legs get involved as well. Now the question will be, how does BC's young quarterback respond? It's a nice job on that touchdown play. They're going to go a little zone read down the middle, but this safety or linebacker for BC is going to crash, which makes the young quarterback Heintschel pull this ball, find the tight end into the flat, makes a man miss, breaks a tackle, and gets into the end zone. They said, you know, going into this game, maybe there would be a lot more RPO type plays, run pass option. They feel like Heintschel does a nice job with different arm slots and different arm angles. That on full display right there.
Turbo. Much like the first series for Boston College, not a whole lot of room to run. Let's send it down to Kendra on the field.
Well, guys, little update on Jeff Percy. He was someone that the coaching staff have talked highly about, someone who said that he's very hard on himself because of how he wants to produce for his team. Well, I was just watching him walk out of the tent. He's able to get on the bike now, so it's going to be something to look out for. Hopefully he can continue to move those legs, guys.
Yeah, good sign for Pitt that Percy got on the bike.
We saw the replay. There was nothing apparent in terms of what, it wasn't a contact thing. It was almost like he just planted awkward. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Lonergan looking to throw. Looking downfield, has Harris. Just overshoots him a bit. Good coverage. Time now for Food Lines. Food for thought, Max.
Yeah, keys to the game. Boston College got to find success in the run game, which they have not through 2 drives. Protect the football. Lonergan had issues with that last week. And then defensively, we talked about Q Hutchins out for BC. Got to generate pressure. Pittsburgh got to be efficient in the pass game, especially with a young quarterback. Struggled with that a week ago. Holstein did. Find explosive plays from the running backs. They've been missing that. Desmond Reed was a huge explosive play element for them a year ago. He's been banged up. That to me is big. Not just in the run game, but the pass game as well. Help out your young quarterback.
Pitt brings pressure on 3rd and 10. Harris makes the catch at midfield, and he got him. No, he did not get a foot down. The official coming in and saying he was out of bounds as Chris Brookins supplied the hit, so Harris made the catch.
On the field is an incomplete
Tried
pass.
to get that 1 foot down. The official came in late and said, no dice.
This was an incredible twirling catch.
Did he fumble the ball? Did he not?
Question's going to be, did that right foot get in, and did he have control with the football?
It looked like it got in, and he maintained control.
Of an incomplete pass is under review.
He had the one initial bobble when he first made contact with the ball and then squeezed it.
I'm with you. What a tremendous catch. Know when you're going to get hit.
Now control, and that looks like that the
Right
both
leg
left
in.
and right. Yes,
I'm with you. That looks like a
That's it.
catch. The right foot down, even after that initial bobble. I do think he secured it.
You're right. A heck of a catch by Harris.
To twirl, to take the hit, to secure the football, get the foot down.
Our replay official today, Joe Hilliard, taking a look at this.
That right there, that right foot down. He also got up talking a little smack to the sideline too, which if you're looking at context clues, that's a receiver that feels like, you know what, I got that foot down.
Brookins came over and leveled the boom. Brookins played his high school football at Steel Valley. What a perfect high school in the Pittsburgh area, Steel Valley.
After review, the receiver's right foot was in bounds and completed the process of the catch. Therefore, it is a first down, Boston College.
24 yards on the pitch and catch. Take one last look at it. Reverse to a catch, and this is absolutely what BC needed. They didn't want to start this game with 2 3-and-outs.
And they'll need more of this throughout the game, too. Pat Narduzzi, the identity of his defense is they're going to come right at you. Safeties are going to be downhill. Linebackers are going to be blitzing a lot. They put a ton of responsibility and pressure on their corners to win on the outside lanes. Expect a lot of those outside lane shots today.
Again, pressure up the middle. They get it out to Bond. And he picks up 5.
Talked about in the first drive, Lewis Bond, what a special playmaker he is. He's now 39 receptions away from breaking Baltimore Ravens great Zay Flowers' BC's all-time receptions record. Comes into this game leading the ACC in receptions. They really forced the issue. They're going to move him all around the park. Had 7 catches a week ago. They want the ball in his hands.
Still trying to establish the running game, and Pitt is having none of it. Pitt comes into this game, you know, we talked about losing 2 in a row coming in, very close games, but their defense gives up 1.85 yards per rush. That's ridiculous.
That's the identity, and it goes back to what I said. They're packing the box, and Max, what does that mean? That means they're having their defensive line slant and commit to a single gap. Their linebackers get playing downhill, and again, their safeties playing downhill as well. Pat Narduzzi does not want you to establish the run, but because of that, he puts a lot of responsibility on his corners.
Lonergan on 3rd and 6. No chance. Was looking for Bond, but he was extremely well covered on that play by Cruz Brookins.
Nice team rushing right there by the Pitt defensive line. Only 4 guys there. Able to get a little push. Excellent coverage downfield. 4th and 6, though.
The offense is on the field, at least for now.
Kind of in no man's land a little bit here. Down a touchdown. That's tough, though. 4th and 6 is not 4th and 3, obviously. Have to think they have to pass here.
And they do snap it. Pitt brings pressure up the middle. Lonergan's trying to get it with his legs, and he won't even be close. Fitzsimmons on the tackle. And they'll turn it over on downs to the Panthers offense.
This is an excellent look by this Pitt defense, showing the blitz, then backing away, confusing the young quarterback. Pitt up a touchdown early. His legs a bunch that drive too, which Boston College has to keep contained on that.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Quickly finds a receiver on the out pattern. That's Poppy Williams.
He's one of those weapons out wide. He's more of the slot receiver. We've talked about Kenny Johnson, Poppy Williams. Blue Hicks is the 3rd weapon for this Pitt offense.
BC brings 5, recognizes it, finds his man Johnson, who spun away from the initial tackle. Carter Davis came to bring him down, but another 15 yards for the Panthers.
What a catch by Kenny Johnson, going down and getting the thing. And that was a rocket. You're seeing the arm strength from Heintschel, but to go down, catch that, put your foot in the ground and make a man miss, impressive play.
Heintschel going for it all for Hicks. Got him!
Holding, offense number 88, 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Unfortunately, it will all come back. A holding call against Pitt will nullify that beautiful pass. Got another flag, too, inside the 5. Let's check that marker as well. Might be a celebration call against Pitt after the score. Let's find the holding call first on replay. We'll show you that one.
You get a hole in the left side here. Remember, Jeff Percy, their normal left tackle's out. Yeah, they're going to get the tight end. It's always a tough matchup. Tight end matched up on an edge rusher, Edwin Coolidge.
What a perfect pass, though. Goodness.
Right over the shoulder.
Play. Unsportsmanlike conduct offense. Number 3 and number 5. It'll be a 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. That's their first foul towards disqualification.
What a turn of events here.
Yeah, Cade Bell, as we're seeing, offensive coordinator for Pitt right there. He's got to hate the celebration, but man, he's got to love the home run shot from his young quarterback, putting an absolute dime on him.
Both fouls were enforced in the order of occurrence.
Let's see the celebration. Doing a little headstand situation.
And they tossed the flag right after that, and they marched him back 25 yards right after that. 1st and 35. Just trying to get a chunk of it back here with Goff, and they do. Oh, it gets leveled at midfield. Omar Thornton.
Oh, baby. You talk about a safety coming downhill. You can hear that from up here. That's a safety coming downhill with bad intentions. Omar Thornton's popped a couple times this game. It's a good gain by Pitt, but an excellent tackle by Thornton.
Goff absorbed the hit and stays in. Heintschel dancing around in the pocket. Gets it out to a tight end. He wasn't able to get much. That's Jake Overman. Good to see him back in the lineup coming off an injury. Owen McGowan and Edwin Kalenge on the tackle.
Said keys going into the game. Young quarterback's got to be efficient, starting the game 8 for 8. Another key we said is how's Boston College going to generate pressure? 3rd and forever. I'd imagine they're just going to rush a few guys and try to bait the young quarterback into a bad decision here. But Chris, again, how crucial is that penalty? You had all the momentum offensively, and now it's 3rd and forever.
BC showing a little pressure. They'll come with just 4 and back out of it. Johnson makes the catch. Gets it down to the 37. And while it's not even close to a first down, this gets him to a spot here. When you talk about no man's land, I think this is it.
Nice tackle again. To me, with how well your defense is playing, this comes down to how much do you trust your punter to pin him. Because 4th and 11's a long ways. With how well your defense is, if you trusted your punter to pin him, I would punt it, back him down, and see if you can get field position in the other way. This shows how much confidence they have in their young quarterback to not get him in trouble, though.
Heintschel will look to throw. He's got time. He has a receiver as well. Did he make the catch? He did. Kenny Johnston has certainly shown early in this game, came down with it. Carter Davis closed in, but he wasn't able to close enough.
On the field is a completed catch.
That was a big hit by Davis as well from behind, and Kenny Johnston was able to hang on.
He got up slow, too, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. But what an excellent catch. Another one on that Pitt sideline. Able to get the 1 foot down, make the catch while getting hit.
Goff falls forward. Picks up about 3. Heintschel making his first start this afternoon is 10 for 10 for 92 yards.
As good as he could have drawn it up if you're Pat Narduzzi and Cade Bell, their offensive coordinator. What a missed opportunity, though, for Boston College. You get a gift with that penalty. 4th and long. Could have got advantageous field position, get off the field, not able to generate a pass rush, and unfortunately you're still on the field if you're Boston College.
Fake to Goff. Batted in the air, incomplete. Cunningham on the coverage.
First incompletion. Good job by Cunningham. Tight coverage. Little run pass option. Quarterback reads the linebackers blitzing into their run gap responsibilities. He pulls it, tries to get a slant route in there. Excellent coverage by the true freshman.
3rd down and 6 in the first quarter, dominated by the Pitt Panthers. Up 7 and in the red zone once again.
3rd and 6.
Heintschel looking into the end zone. Trying to hit Spann and just a little bit too high. And Spann's a tall receiver. Just couldn't quite go up the ladder to get it.
Nice job by the Pitt offensive line. Very clean pocket. Tries to anticipate this throw. Like you said, Chris, just too high.
And that'll bring in Butkowski to attempt a field goal.
Nice job by Heintschel. Pick up that, not only the 3rd down, but the 4th down, the previous set of plays. Get into field goal range, see if you can get 3 extra points here.
Butkowski 8 of 9 on the season. This one from 31 yards. Snap and hold are outstanding. The kick is true. With 39 seconds remaining in this first quarter, Panthers have extended their lead to 10-0. Gorgeous day here in Pittsburgh. Got my rivers wrong before. Said the Susquehanna River. It's the Allegheny River.
It's a mouthful.
It's one of the worst things you can do, though, here. I mean, let's make sure we get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Monongahela, the Allegheny,
I'll leave
and the Ohio.
the river and the bridge knowledge to you, even though I spent a whole year living here. I should know, but...
a lot of bridges. My goodness. A lot of gold-painted, steel-girded bridges coming into the city and out of the city.
What's harder, Monongahela or Jaron Kiave Sagapolatele, the Cal quarterback we had last week?
That was some work.
We've had some work.
This week we just have a bunch of nicknames. Got Blue Hicks, Poppy Williams, Bootsy Turner. And we've got a 10-0 Pitt lead. ACC, and we're clearly closer to that being the case. It's a big one tonight. Miami and Florida State.
Without a doubt. How does Florida State respond from the Virginia loss? That would have been even bigger if they were going into that undefeated, but in Tallahassee, that'll be a good one.
That's what they want to do as many times as they can. Get the ball out to Bond in space. Let him do something with it, but that time he dropped it.
Just an easy one. Pitt pack in the box. You said it, Chris. They're going to have to do a lot more of this. The quick game's got to show up for Boston College because Pitt, they're packing the box. The run game might not be there from a numbers standpoint, so you've got to make plays in space from your receivers.
I thought Pitt would have bottled that up anyways, even if he makes the catch. They had 3 defenders unblocked right in his grill.
If that's the case, got to win downfield shots. Those vertical routes like we saw from Harris earlier.
Pressure up the middle. Bo McCormick makes the catch out of the backfield, but he's brought down on a really nice tackle.
Offside. Defense, number 2. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, that will help as Bill O'Brien and this Boston College offense will take it any way they can get it. If they get 5 yards closer to open up the playbook a little bit here to make it 3rd and 3, they'll take it. Look at that first quarter on the year for the Pitt Panthers.
First quarter's been great. Pitt fans are seeing that graphic, be like, all right, that's
the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Exactly. Did it again.
Let's see who they got it now. And they're gonna give him the first down on the offside.
That's bizarre too, because it's it was Biles, linebacker. Something's going on with that cadence.
That might be Bill O'Brien's best plan.
Offside. Defense, number 3. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
It's rare to see it once coming out of a timeout. Even more rare, obviously, to see it twice. Happened with both outside linebackers, Kyle Lewis and Rasheem Biles, on either edge. Good job by Lonergan. Whatever he's doing with his cadence got him a free first down.
And by the Boston College offensive line for moving when Biles moved to draw the flag. So first down, McCormick bangs his way in there, maybe picks up a half a yard. BC's just having a real hard time running between the tackles here.
It's interesting to see McCormick get some action. The true freshman, we did not see him get a carry in last week's game. Usually it was a heavy dose of Turbo Richard, which we've talked about, and then Jordan McDonald is usually their backup running back. He had a great game a year ago in this matchup versus Pitt. McCormick, my gut says, being a true freshman, maybe he's doing some good things in practice and coming along.
Only 3 yards on 5 carries on the day for Boston College. Lonergan looking to throw, and he's going to go deep. As his man Harris just overshoots him. So once again, a 3rd and long coming up as he misfires on this deep shot.
This is going to be a post route by Reed Harris in the middle. He has his step. He's there to potentially make a play, just a little bit too far out of reach. And that is the key to beating this Pitt defense. When you have your downfield shots, because they play so aggressively, you have to connect to put that fear in Pat Narduzzi and have them soften up a little bit. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in 3rd and longs like you do here.
Lonergan to throw. As a man is tied in, Franklin absorbs the hit, stays on his feet. Now loses the football, and it's picked up by Pitt. Kyle Lewis, who always seems to be around the football, is once again picks up the fumble, and a lot happened on this play. Jeremiah Franklin made a nice catch. Was able to keep his feet, but then put the ball on the carpet.
You said a lot going on. Excellent throw here by Lonergan. Phenomenal catch. You stand up, withstand the contact.
Review.
And then you said it, Kyle Lewis. That might be one of the most underrated skill sets he has. The All-American running back, or All-American linebacker, always has a tendency to get those strips.
In Pittsburgh, the ruling on the field as a fumble was upheld, and here you see it, Max. First great effort by Franklin, but an even better effort by Kyle Lewis.
Phenomenal awareness, too, to know the tight end's a little bit disoriented, to get your hand in there and strip it. We say that's it. He has a knack for coming up with those plays.
On the rollout, has Johnson. Johnson is having a heck of a first half. Let's go back to that turnover again.
Yeah, so obviously it's a phenomenal job by Jeremiah Franklin taking that hit and catching the ball. Lewis comes in there and really just strips it out. It was cool talking with his defensive coordinator, Randy Bates, who he's like, this guy might be able to play DB, might be able to play linebacker at the next level, but talented player nonetheless.
Heintschel takes a hit, picks up 3 yards, did a nice job of protecting the football, though, as Clive Wilson getting some playing time because of Q Hutchins' injury.
That's the key for this BC defense. Get pressure on that young quarterback. Don't let him get comfortable in this game. Confuse him. Have him thinking he's seen one coverage. Move to a different coverage. That's one thing without having Holstein in there. He doesn't have the reps and the experience as much.
Turner, that speed to get outside. He wasn't able to pick up much, maybe 2. He'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
How much different is this Pitt offense than when the year started? You were expecting an All-American running back coming back and Desmond Reed. You had Eli Holstein, who we talked about it, that was as confident Pat Narduzzi felt heading into a year at his quarterback position since the Kenny Pickett days. And so far in this game, instead of two older guys, you have 2 true freshmen playing there.
Heintschel steps up. Can't shake the tackle, though. Makai Byerson did a really nice job of sticking with him. Dropped him for no gain. It'll be 4th down.
If he got through Byerson's tackle there, he would have had a big gain. You can see Boston College bringing some pressure. It's a nice job coming down with that tackle and getting off the field.
He does run a little bit like Haynes King. I'm not saying he's as effective as Haynes King, but he looks kind of like him when he runs. I feel like he's not fast at all, but he's very effective.
So it's not the prettiest thing, but you look up in the stat sheet is like, man, his legs were really impactful in this game.
Cameron Martinez is back to receive this punt, but we're going to check the marker first. A lot of flags in the first half.
Offense number 14, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So Pitt will move back 5 yards. That won't affect the punter Caleb Junko all that much.
It'll affect Boston College, though. They went from punt safe, which is when you're trying to, when the team's trying to pin you, versus they're going to blitz with more athletic guys right here.
Junko end over end. Martinez will make the catch. No fair catch. He's able to pick up another 6-7 yards out to the 22. We talked about Desmond Reed. You talked about him for Pitt. He was actually dressed and warming up before the game. So we thought, are we going to see 0 and blue? He even had his shoulder pads on for a while. And, talking to the offensive coordinator, Cade Bell, he said, we are a completely different passing team when he's in the game, and they've missed him since that West Virginia game. Here he is in full uniform before the game.
And I think it's just gamesmanship by Pat Narduzzi, and the reason they're doing it, like there's a lot of teams that have their running backs injured, but if Zero's back in this game, it totally changes your defensive game plan. You're not blitzing as much because Desmond Reed is very much a factor in the passing game, so you're concerned if he were to get one-on-one with the linebacker. So trying to, I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes, but get that defensive coordinator thinking that a weapon could come back.
Lonergan's got to make something happen here. Here's Bond. They just cannot connect. Whether it's been a drop by Bond or just a slightly overthrown pass here, he had him open. That's his main target. Just overshoots him.
In weeks past, he's done a nice job with that route, that 15-yard out route, layering the football. Like you said, just a little bit behind Lewis Bond. Not in sync. The first and second quarter a week ago, this Boston College offensive passing attack was in rhythm. You've seen the drop, seen the bang strip that we saw last play. And the missed throw right there.
Just one catch for 4 yards on the game for Bond. Lonergan to throw again. Pump fake. He blitzed. Stays on his feet. Now he doesn't. They finally got to him. Sean Fitzsimmons chased him out of the pocket. And in the end, it was just Sear Whittington who tracked him down. First sack of the day, third TFL for this Pitt defense.
We talked about how big it was for the defensive tackles to show up today for Pitt. Thin at defensive end, so you got to lean on the big dogs up front. It's a good sign defensively if you're able to get a pass rush with a defensive tackle.
Third down and forever. Third down into the Susquehanna River. That's how far it is for Boston College. Defender got there early. BC wanted a flag, and they're not going to get it. Cruz Brookins was defending on the play.
Yeah, Lonergan elected to go to the short side of the field, get Dawson Pugh, the true freshman there. Was surprised he didn't go to his left where he had Reed Harris one-on-one on the bottom of the screen, but trying to get another true freshman some action. Pugh there. He's the third receiver for Boston College today. Jaden Skeet is out.
Third 3 and out on the day for Boston College. That ends up being a pretty good punt from Seamus Florio.
Seeing the arm strength as well, different arm slots. Boston College has allowed him to, at times, have a clean pocket, get his playmakers the ball. For a true freshman in his first start, it's gone about as well as you could have hoped if you're Pat Narduzzi.
Heintschel to throw again. As a receiver again. Omar Thornton on the tackle. Kenny Johnson has been his favorite target, no question about it. As he loses his helmet, so he'll have to step away for a play, much to the chagrin of Mason Heintschel. I'm sure those two have a connection.
Those are the types of plays, too, that usually take true freshman quarterbacks the longest time to get adjusted to, where you have to throw it before a receiver gets out of his break and trust that your receiver is going to be there. He makes that look easy for a lot of young quarterbacks. They're slow on that route.
Patience. Jules down close to the 30. 16 yards. Omar Thornton and Carter Davis on the tackle. Too many safeties making tackles for Boston College now.
Yeah, the offensive line. Credit the Pitt offensive line. Remember, they're
offense number 56.
They're getting it done against this defensive line.
Replay first down.
Boston College, there is a penalty on the play, though. They're going to back them up.
Yeah, I didn't get the number. Looked like Lyndon Cooper, the guilty party. He's trying to explain everything that happened in detail, and the officiating crew is having none of it.
He's wagging his finger at the ref or the defensive line. Now he's chirping.
Yeah, barking at Boston College.
Yeah, in this game last year, I called it, and so much of the talk was how thin Pitt's offensive line was. So many guys hurt coming into this season. Lyndon Cooper was their ACC Media Days rep. He's very much the anchor on this offensive line. Ryan Baer as well, right tackle. And then we talked about they brought in a few transfers. Keep in mind, Jeff Percy and both Keith Gueva are out on that left side.
Goff reverses his field. Another flag comes down as Goff only picked up about 3. One of the Panthers lost his helmet in the backfield. It's definitely getting chippy.
The helmet looks like the flag.
Personal foul. Defense, number 52, hands to the face. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. Number 55 can stay in the game as the foul caused his helmet to come off.
We're going to get hands to the face. Right in the middle there. 52, Chris Marable. I thought it was going to be hands to the face on Lyndon Cooper, the center, on a defensive tackle after they were talking with one another, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, the automatic first down is a killer against BC. Johnson back in the game in motion. They'll give it to Goff. Picks up a couple. Again, Thornton with the tackle. Omar Thornton is just stacking tackles today.
They're having him come down and play at the line of scrimmage, too. If you're an offensive coordinator and a safety's making this many plays at or near the line of scrimmage, have to think there might be opportunities to take shots down the field, but credit zero in the secondary. He's flying around. They'll move him all over.
Heintschel to throw. BC again bringing forward. Now the pocket collapses. Another flag down. And Heintschel's just going to chuck it into the end zone. Caught! No, incomplete drops. It looked like initially Kenny Johnson was going to bring it in. Might be inconsequential anyways as we check the flag in the backfield.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Going against Ryan Baer.
You look like Faber Bate, right defensive end on the bottom of your screen, 41. He's going to get past Baer. And then Baer hooks him. Makes it even worse, too, when your quarterback rushes that side.
Third hold of the game against Pitt.
That's really going to be a key in this game for the next 2.5 quarters. A banged-up Pitt offensive line versus a banged-up Boston College defensive line. When that depth is tested, who can rise to the occasion?
Because in many respects, there's nobody else to turn to. You can't pat yourself on top of the helmet in the fourth quarter of this game on a very warm afternoon here in Pittsburgh.
Timeout. Pittsburgh, they're first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds.
Panthers want to talk things over. It'll be second and Nikers as well, but no power 4 offers. And offensive coordinator Cade Bell here at Pitt fell in love with him, signed him, and right now he's their starting quarterback. Goff, he's finding a little bit of room in the middle of this field.
We saw at the commercial break, Kendall Staley, who's the backup left tackle in for Jeff Percy. He was hobbling off to the sideline, had to get his ankle retaped. He's in there, 53, but he's very much hobbling. If he's out, that would mean Pitt would be on their 3rd string left tackle, and Pitt fans hearing me say that are like, not again, because that's what they dealt with all of last year, and it very much was a key contributing factor to why they had that slide they did. Starting 7-0 a year ago, went winless the rest of the way.
It's 0 for 3 in their last third down opportunities here, 3rd and long. Heintschel's got all kinds of time. It has a receiver, tug of jersey though. Blue Hicks may or may not have been able to run under this pass, but when you saw the blatant tug of the jersey.
Defense number 16. 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Everybody in the house knew it was going to be a penalty against BC.
And it's because of Blue Hicks's speed. You can see the burst that he has. They're trying to tee up a home run shot. Blue Hicks, very much their playmaker. They feel like he has, I mean, they like all their receivers, but in terms of skill set, he's the guy that really sticks out. The transfer from Louisville. At Louisville was much more of a slot receiver. Transfers to Pitt, and they said, man, you got speed. We got to put you on the outside lane, and sometimes that can free up a receiver to make more plays. have a wider route tree to get to. Seeing that on display there.
Heintschel rolls under pressure. Throws it away, but too dangerously close to a defender. Oh, Cameron Martinez got a hand on it, but it falls harmlessly incomplete. Both these teams, way too many penalties today. Boston College, 45 yards in penalties. They had 115 last week. Got to clean that up, amongst other things. But when you're giving this Pitt team multiple chances, it's going to come back to haunt you, and it has haunted him on this drive. That time, nowhere to go for Goff. Byerson on the tackle.
Byerson's popped a couple times. Right there, it's a little zone read. When Byerson crashes in, that's a sign for the quarterback to pull it. But credit BC's defense for confusing the young quarterback and coming up with a nice play.
Heintschel to throw. Has time. Now flushed out of the pocket. He can run. He's got plenty of room and a blocker in front of him. Right at the stick before he gets hit hard. Thornton again on the tackle, but he's right at the marker to gain. This is all going to depend on the spot.
It's great awareness, too, by the young quarterback. Not only to get out of the pocket, but know where the sticks are. That reach at the very end might have got him the first down. At that point, your momentum's heading to the left side. Even if the defender hits the ball out, it doesn't matter. It's going to go out of bounds.
Just a
previous play is under review as to whether the runner met the line to gain.
They'll review the mark. As of now, it's 4th down and about a foot.
We saw this very same thing, and it almost cost Cal the game last week versus Boston College. A different true freshman quarterback, Jaron Kiave Sagapolatele for Cal, did not reach the ball out, then did not get the first down as a result. Almost lost in the game right here. Gotta love the awareness from the young guy. That stretch, I mean, he's right there at that 16-yard line.
That left foot down there. Can't see where the ball is from that angle. He is fully stretched out with it, though, in his right arm. Look at Thornton coming down there with bad intentions. Oof. That was a hard hit for Heintschel to take right at the end line there.
I mean, the left foot obviously goes down, but he's full stretched with the right. I think it's very much, it's certainly at the 11-yard line. Excuse me, I said 16-yard, 11-yard line. It's just a matter of, you know, it comes down to an inch here or there.
After review, the runner was short of the line to gain. It's upheld, therefore it's a 4th down.
Notice that verbiage, upheld. They've gone away with stands or confirmed. Regardless of the decision, it'll be upheld.
After the review, Coach Narduzzi opting to keep his offense on the field.
If you're Pat Narduzzi, you got to feel like this is a blood in the water type of moment. Opportunity to establish confidence in your team, potentially go up 3 scores if you convert this.
Heintschel to throw. Johnson! Touchdown!
Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
Excellent design by offensive coordinator Cade Bell. They get Kenny Johnson coming in motion. You get the defense flying towards the other side, overplaying it. And there's no one left in the flat the second they snap the ball. They knew they had the conversion, but they also got the touchdown on that one.
Joel Hilliard reviewing to make sure that our replay official to make sure that Johnson did indeed get in. Just bodies flying at the goal line. It was tough to tell that he did or did not, and the ruling on the field was that he did, and they're going to stay with it. Butkowski to make it 17-0 Pitt. And he just sneaks it through the upright.
Let's take a look at that touchdown again. It's an excellent design. They're going to bring him in motion, or act like he's bringing in motion, bring to the flat. It allows this corner to come over the top, and it confuses the defense for Boston College. Pitt out leverages the defense. There's no one in the flat. Kenny Johnson gets an easy catch. And then it's just a race for the front pylon. We said it coming into this game. Kenny Johnson, he's a guy that wanted to get more involved. They felt like in weeks past they'd missed him on some dig routes. He had been open but hadn't really popped. He's popped today. 7 receptions, almost 100 yards and a touchdown.
See the numbers in this game scrolling there on the bottom. Everything dominating Pitt performance. BC's got to figure something out in a hurry. Carpenter to send it away. It'll get into the end zone. Kendra Douglas is down on the field with a special guest.
Well, guys, I have a special guest with me here today, and Antonio Bryan. Antonio, you're being recognized and honored here today with Pitt, a place where you grew so much history. Just what does it mean for you to be here today?
Well, it's truly a blessing. It's truly an honor, and I'm just soaking it all in and just, enjoying the festivities, enjoying the game. Hopefully Pitt do what they're supposed to do and win this game. And I get the opportunity to see things from a fan's perspective because I've never been inside of an NFL stadium outside of playing.
That's true. When you look at what's going on with this team, and what's some of your favorite moments?
I got so many, man. I was just speaking with Coach Walt Harris. He's here at the game. He came out for me, which is a blessing. But more than anything, I would probably say the diving catch against the Insight.com Bowl against Iowa State. It was a diving catch that I made, and I seen Fitzgerald replicate the same exact catch, and that was like crazy. I was like, that's the same catch.
Antonio, thank you. Enjoy the rest of this game.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Appreciate that, Kendra. Antonio for joining us. Once again, Boston College now after the incomplete pass facing a 3rd and long.
He mentioned right there the run that Pitt had from Bryant to Larry Fitzgerald, 2 Biletnikoff Award winners in a 3-4 year span. Jordan Addison many years later, but that was quite the run there for Pitt.
And more flags.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
We've talked so much about offensive linemen being out. Bowery was out a week ago versus Cal for Boston College. Good sign that he's back. Really stabilizes that offensive line. But again, another penalty and putting your quarterback in a unfavorable situation. 3rd and 12. Seen this a lot before.
Pitt brings some pressure. It's picked up initially, so Lonergan's going to have time, and he put it right on the money. Once again, catch cannot be made. Samaj Fleming, freshman.
It's interesting they're having Fleming in there. He hadn't really been in much. They either didn't have Harris or Bond on the field there, which is a surprise given that it was 3rd and long, but the young receiver can't come down with it.
That one might have gotten lost into the sun. It's placed in a good spot by Lonergan. Johnson catches it as 36. Good play on special teams to drop him right there. Women's sports take over in the afternoon, every Sunday afternoon rather, right here on the ACC network. This Sunday no different. Tomorrow we start with volleyball at noon Eastern. Number 5 Pitt hosting Georgia Tech. We got a soccer doubleheader. Cal SMU at 2, then number 19 North Carolina hosting Pitt. Should be a great afternoon of matches, and Pitt fans, a lot to watch for tomorrow on the ACC network.
Pitt volleyball's built a program now.
I've heard that.
They're always up there. This BC defense needs a big play. Offense has been sluggish the first 2 quarters. Can their defense pick them up?
Turner looking for blocks on the outside. Of course, Thornton is there, but Turner makes a miss. Almost 7 on first down for Bootsy.
Excited about that young running back. Obviously, with Desmond Reed being out, allows him to get more and more of a role. Goff's really been the guy that's replaced Reed, but as Turner gets more and more healthy after that fall camp injury, I'd expect his role to grow.
Picks up a tough yard inside. Kalenge on the stop. 3rd down and short. As we tick inside of 5 minutes in this first half.
Kalenge, also see Owen McGowan in there. Mentioned it earlier, but Boston College defense, not only is their defensive line thin, but the linebacker position as well. Bam Crouch, their best defensive player, out. Bryce Steele, who replaced him, is out. So a guy like McGowan right there in the middle has got to carry the load.
Pitt converted 2 third downs on their opening possession. Haven't converted one since until now. Goff out to midfield.
Nice job by this Pitt offensive line. Clearing a big hole there, allowing Goff to pick up the first down. Anytime that run game's rolling, helps out a young quarterback.
Finds Johnson again.
You can see that arm strength. Little curl route on the outside. That ball is piercing through the air.
Johnson ties a career high with his 8th catch of the game. We're still in the first half. Heintschel to throw. Going up top for Johnson, just overthrew him. Really good coverage on the play by Tucker.
You said a nice coverage. See the big brace right there. Had an elbow injury this week in practice. Wasn't sure if we're going to see him. You can see how big that brace is. That can't be comfortable for a defensive back who obviously needs that mobility and using that hand to jam receivers, but he's battling, and it's a defensive secondary that needs him.
Heintschel running for his life. Just throws that one way out of bounds.
If Narduzzi went on it on 4th and 11, I'd imagine he'll go for it again on 4th and 2. There's no one open downfield. Pretty good protection right there. Ultimately, the defensive line's able to get through, but nice coverage right there by the BC secondary.
You know who caught that pass sitting on the bench? Linebacker Kyle Lewis.
He's everywhere.
He's always around the ball.
He's everywhere. I'm fascinated to see what he does long term. Obviously, you know, one of the best linebackers in the country a year ago, but he definitely looks like a safety. My gut says in the NFL he'll be an unreal nickel for some defensive coordinator.
Throwing on it and picking it up. Still on his feet is his tight end, Thomas. Great effort, picking up an extra couple of yards after he picked up the first down.
BC dedicating so many bodies inside the box to the run game. That's an extension of the run game right there, just getting the ball into the flat. And Malachi Thomas done a nice job. Both catches he's got, breaking tackles, forcing multiple guys to take him down.
Sophomore out of Thomas County Central, South Georgia. Heintschel to throw, steps up, and he is elusive. Now going to the end zone, he's got 2 receivers down there, knocked down. TJ Green, the freshman nickelback, was able to knock it down as he had 2 receivers in the area.
Yeah, they had a little corner blitz, and they almost had Max Tucker, get him. He's lucky that TJ Green, the safety for Boston College, didn't get his eyes back, or else that could have been a pick. Credit the play, though. It's a nice job. Another true freshman defender, and TJ Green making a play for this Eagles defense.
Shakirian Turner in the backfield with Heintschel. Sends him in motion. Just an easy pitch and catch. Again, Kenny Johnson, KP Price in coverage. That's just easy right there for Heintschel.
You'd love if you're Pat Narduzzi in this Pitt offense.
Boston College, their first time out of the half. It's 30
drain
seconds.
the clock, ultimately score a touchdown, of course, but drain the clock and don't even give Boston College the ball back to try to establish momentum.
I don't remember whether you said this on the air or off the air, but we were talking. You said Kenny Johnson is somebody that they want to break out. They got Williams. They got Hicks as a playmaker, but they really thought Kenny Johnson could deliver them something downfield. And man, has he had a day. Career high. 9 catches for 115 yards, both of them career highs in the first half.
Yeah, I just felt like when I had the Pitt squad last year, they didn't really have a receiver one. And so Holstein did some good things, and Reed was really their biggest, Desmond Reed that is, was really their biggest weapon in the pass game at the running back spot, which is just bizarre. So, you know, I was here at Pitt in the training camp circuit for ACC Network, and we were curious about, you know, who is going to be that receiver one. Kenny Johnson, very much in the mix. Pitt went and got in the portal, got Blue Hicks from Louisville. You know, they got Deuce Spann from Florida State trying to fill and, you know, elevate that receiver unit. And at a training camp, they were saying, you know, maybe we don't have a receiver one, but this is as deep of a bunch as we've had in recent memory, and that depth's shown up today.
10 targets for Kenny Johnson, 12 for the rest of the team combined. So early on, Heintschel is looking Johnson's way. 3rd down and 1. Goff, 1st down. Well, even without Reed, Max, they've got Goff as a guy who can give you the tough yards inside to move the chains, and it looks like they've got Jakirian Turner as somebody who can break it outside, gives you home run ability. There's Desmond Reed.
They definitely wish he was out there, don't get me wrong, but like you said, they do have depth.
Heintschel to throw. Has a receiver wide open. Inside the 5. Out of bounds at the 3. Justin Holmes. Looks like he's backed up a little bit, favoring that left arm.
Fumble forward out of bounds.
And guess who laid the hit on him? Omar Thornton.
He is all over the field.
He is all over the field.
Now it was 20 yards downfield, which is the unfortunate thing for Boston College. Pitt is threatening once again at the 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back.
It's an offense that's been frustrated how they started the year. Opportunity to cap off what's been a tremendous first half in the Mason Heintschel's first start. Don't always see that vocal leadership from a young quarterback. Speaks to the maturity of him.
1st and goal inside the 5. They'll move Williams in motion. Give it to Goff. He'll score.
The Pitt offense making it look easy. Marching right down the field. The pass game was working. Run game's working. Handing it off to Joels Goff. He gets in for 6.
Butt kicker in to put the finishing touches on a 65-plus yard drive, the 3rd of the day by this Pitt offense. Yeah, you better have a smile on your face, Cade Bell. He's got to love what he's seeing.
Especially from his offensive line, too. Making it look easy. Taking advantage of a thin defensive line for Boston College. Run game's been working. Pass protection's been working. And when you have a quarterback in his first start, if you're Cade Bell, the one concern you'd have is if they are able to heat things up on your young quarterback, or if your offense does become one-dimensional. Puts a lot of pressure on a guy like Mason, but that has not been the case today. The offense has been firing on all cylinders.
Pitt has done it on the offense. They've done it on defense. Special teams today. The only thing really that hasn't gone their way, too many penalties. Both teams have been afflicted by too many penalties. That's the only thing, the only blemish on what has been almost a perfect first half of football for Pitt. Green's going to give it a shot. And he only gets out to about the 16. Well, let's take a look at the defense, because they've been just as impressive as any other side.
They've been lights out. They have not allowed anything in the run game to get going. The pass game's been a struggle as well. And then the second that they do get some sort of momentum with Dylan Lonergan, you come up with a turnover like a strip right here. But your best defensive player, Kyle Lewis. So this has been lights out from this Pitt defense. Like you said, on both sides of the ball, as good of a first half as you could have drawn up if you're Pat Narduzzi.
Boston College has 65 yards of offense and 50 yards on penalties. They pick up about 4 here as the tight end Jeremiah Franklin gets involved.
Certainly have enough time with 2 timeouts. Try to put together a 2-minute drive, maybe get yourself some momentum. Sometimes when offenses are struggling, teams will voluntarily try to do a 2-minute drill, get some tempo, allow your offense to be upbeat. We've seen just no energy, no momentum from this offense. And if you're Pitt, obviously you do not want that to happen. Go into halftime with this offense still searching for answers.
Pitt gets the ball to start the second half. Blitz picked up, Lonergan underneath. Kyle Lewis on the tackle. Dawson Pugh making the catch.
Pitt linebackers are just so athletic. Great in coverage. Lewis, Biles, Lovelace, hard to get by.
Lonergan can't find an open receiver. And can't find Harris on 3rd down. So the struggles continue. Minute 18 left to go in this first half. They got to give it back to Pitt.
Pitt only rushing 4 left sides. Bogged up, tries to go to the right side. At that point, you're going to be late. Nowhere to go. Thought there's a scenario where maybe they go for it, you know, down 3 scores technically.
4 3-and-outs in their 6 drives in this first half. Johnson back to receive, fair catch, makes it at his 37. Week 6 here on the ACC Network continues this afternoon. SMU hosting Syracuse at 3:30 Eastern. That's coming up next. Going to cap the night off with the field pass presentation of 3rd-ranked Miami, 18th-ranked Florida State with sideline commentary. That's 7:30 Eastern. Both games not only available on the ACC Network, but also on the ESPN app.
This was a bounce-back game for these 2 teams. Bounce back for SMU and Syracuse, too.
Yes, good point.
Post-Steve Angeli era for Syracuse. They got blown out last week versus Duke, and then SMU coming off a bye after a rivalry loss to TCU.
See, that's what I'm talking about with Heintschel when he looks like Haynes King. It's not a gazelle or a cheetah. It's like a giraffe. Have you ever seen videos?
Officials time out on the field.
Pretty sure my mobility was like a giraffe.
Well, giraffes
I was a
actually,
little baby giraffe.
they run fast. Like if you've seen YouTube videos of giraffe running after people on the Serengeti,
They got that next level.
They can move even though they don't look fast. That's kind of like Heintschel. BJ Williams is hurt. This is another offensive lineman who's banged up. You already had Percy get hurt earlier in the day. You had Keith Govea hurt last week and is out this week. Ryan Corrett is filling in for him at left guard. Now right guard BJ Williams is banged up.
It's obviously a nightmare situation if you are Pitt, but they do have experience with this. This was the story of last year for them. They had to go deep into the reserves at offensive line. Really the 3 big transfers they got on the offensive line were Percy, who's hurt today, Gueva, like you said, out heading into today, and then Stanley, the transfer from Charlotte, filling in at left tackle. He's banged up as well. Still haven't missed a beat, though. Credit that offensive line.
So Williams will have to come out for at least a play. He wanted to stay in there, but because we had the injury timeout, he'll sit a play. Nice catch made by Malachi Thomas.
Complete to 82, Malachi Thomas.
Heintschel just so decisive, even with routes like that that look easy. There's no second guessing. He's gripping it, he's ripping it. Accurate throw on the outside shoulder to have the tight end turn upfield and get yards after catch.
The 7th different receiver he's found. Goff lowers his shoulder into KP Price. Gets it down close to the 30. Pitt still got 2 timeouts on the board.
It's a nice job reading this defensive end. Defensive end goes and Heintschel, hand the ball off to your running back. No one right there in that backside B gap, and you get a big play.
Heintschel flushed out. Tried to force that one low, and Deuce Spann couldn't pick it off his ankles. Incompletion will stop the clock with 32 seconds left.
32 seconds, still got 2 timeouts, so you could run the ball. Probably need 5 more yards or so to get into field goal range.
Bukowski has about 50-yard range, is long on the year, and his career is 46. He's hitting from beyond 50 in pregame warm-up, so he's got the leg. Heintschel to throw. Good job by that offensive line. Has a receiver. Big hit. Stays on his feet. Bootsy down to the 5. And this is the smaller back at 5'9", 180. Look at him absorb this hit.
Yeah, don't tell him that. He packs a punch. Big hit on the sideline, the true freshman. Breaking tackles, getting involved in the backfield. That was something Cade Bell talked about, you know, getting Desmond Reed, the normal starting running back, involved in the pass game, something they did often. Haven't done a lot of that with running backs out of the backfield the past few weeks. Getting more to that, and you can see why. Turner, weapon out of the backfield.
Kieran Turner with the longest play of the day for this Pitt offense at 25 yards. Has him set up once again at 1st and goal.
Nice job by Heintschel, too. At Boston College is not going to have pressure on you. You look downfield, nothing's there. Coverage playing soft. Check the ball down, get a completion. And you get completions and force a defense to tackle that's already been on the field what feels like the whole second quarter. They're drained, they don't wrap up. Big play comes about.
Defensive injury.
Had an injury on the field. I didn't see who it was for Boston College. Yeah, it was Max Tucker. That elbow was bothering him, so that's why we had a stoppage, brief stoppage. So Pitt still has their 2 timeouts. Clock running. Heintschel has to be aware of it. Turner bouncing it outside. He'll score.
You can see the explosiveness in this young running back. Get him on the outside edge. No one there in the alley to tackle him. He breaks contain, and that burst into the end zone.
Bukowski with the PAT. Kieran Turner finds the end zone.
Just quickly finds the edge, outruns that safety coming down to try to make a play. Got it done in the pass game, running over a couple Eagle defenders. Caps it off with a little outside zone. Offensive line is opening up some holes, and you're getting a young running back taking advantage of that.
Talk about cheetahs, gazelles, giraffes. Yeah, hippopotamus could have run through that hole.
Is he the cheetah of all the zoo animals?
You make a hippopotamus angry enough, they'll move fast.
Do they have a big? Yeah, they got some big back. Get the Williams.
The Williamses.
The Williamses in there.
Jalen and Caleb Williams, you get to see them. Those are both their bigger backs, but
You know, they still like James Conner. Maybe we're talking about him as the hippo. He was a bruising back in the college ranks.
this has been a nightmare for BC and an absolute dream for Pat Narduzzi and the Pitt Panthers, looking to break a 2-game skid coming into this game, and they're well on their way with 10 seconds left to go in the first half.
This will be a big halftime for this Boston College Eagles team too. I mean, you said it. Came into this game 1-3. We said it was a fork in the road game for both teams. To lay an egg this first half, especially coming off a 3-game losing streak where they were in every one of those games. You had momentum. How does this team respond? It's going to be a big factor for BC because you can't let this slide continue into the second half, and you have concerns that the slide can continue for weeks after if they don't get things right. And yet he is, in his first start, getting it done for the Pitt Panthers.
Is it in you? Brought to you by Gatorade, and it was in Mason Heintschel throughout that entire first half, and we'll see if he starts his second half with the same type of mojo. Down to Kendra Douglas on the field.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what Max just said, when I talked with Pat Narduzzi and asked him about Mason, he said he loves his execution, the way he's quick to throw out the ball. He wants to see more of that. He kept looking at me and say, more execution. I want to see more of that. On the other side, though, when it comes to Boston College, look out for defensive back Max Tucker. He is questionable to return to the game. Remember, he has that brace on that elbow, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kendra. Max Tucker obviously gave it the old college try today with that elbow. That thing was all braced up. He injured it this past week, as you said, and they are so thin in a lot of positions on defense. It's just a matter of...
So thin might not even be a understatement.
Patching it up,
4
literally.
corners out.
Heintschel to throw to start this second half. That time incomplete. Here were your keys to the game. Let's see how they worked out.
Yeah, really, these two stick out for Boston College. You talk about establishing the run game. Haven't done that. -6 yards, very much been one-dimensional. And then generating pressure. That, to me, going in, key to the game, they've had no pressure on Heintschel. And they've allowed a true freshman quarterback to really sit back there and, play 7-on-7 football at times. Again, they're missing Q Hutchins, their best pass rusher. So that was a question mark coming into the game that Pitt's taking advantage of.
Fake to Goff. Oh, that was almost picked. And TJ Green corrals that one. He may have hit his head on the goalpost.
You said a little RPO. It's a bad read. You can tell the young quarterback Heintschel maybe getting confident that he can squeeze one in there. TJ Green, another true freshman, that had pick 6 written all over it. He catches that. You said it, Chris. It's a house call.
Heintschel's numbers so far on the day. Wanted to see an efficient passing game from Pitt. You got it from the true freshman from Ohio.
That right there was with the first bad decision we've seen him make.
Now on 3rd and long. Pressure coming. And Boston College brings him down. This is a good defensive start for BC at any rate. Faber Bate was able to get there from the edge. First TFL of the day for this Boston College defense, so a good start in the second half.
Faber Bate getting the start today because Q Hutchins is out running the loop a little bit there, and you can see when he gets up trying to instill some energy, some juice into this BC team. We're waiting for the defense to come up with a big play in the first half. You get it in the second half. Nice job by Bill O'Brien's defense to start this second half.
Just the second punt of the day for Pittsburgh. Junko will be punting from his own end zone. That's a good one. Sending Ferris all the way back to his 25, and he lets it bounce. Takes a BC bounce, but that's a really good punt from Junko. The all-new ACC PM Monday through Thursday from 6 to 7. Then Friday's ACC PM is a special 2-hour football-focused edition from 5 to 7, hosted by Kelsey Riggs Cup, right here on the ACC Network and on the all-new ESPN app. They get you set for the weekend's games. Still got a bunch of football left to go today on the ACC Network, culminating with Miami, Florida State tonight. Special broadcast on ACCN. Boston College, good start defensively to the second half. Let's see what Lonergan can do offensively. Has his back. McDonald lowers his shoulder and runs over a defender. That'll be a first down. First time we've even mentioned the name of Jordan McDonald today, and it pays dividends.
Nice job getting that catch, breaking a tackle. You said it, first time we've mentioned Jordan McDonald, so have to wonder if something's up with Turbo Richard. He was their bell cow back. We saw a lot of McCormack in the first half.
That's a good run inside. That's something Boston College could do nothing of in the first half, is run between the tackles, and McDonald picks up 9.
Yeah, sensing some of that energy. Just so key for this offense. We talked about it coming into the game. They lead the ACC in passing yards per game, which sounds good, but also shows, while stats don't say the whole picture, because they lead the country in passing because they're very one-dimensional. The run game hasn't necessarily been working. Got to get it going to take pressure off of Lonergan.
And they came in averaging under 100 yards rushing per game, 125th in the country, and that was after a big weekend last weekend by Turbo, where he went for 168 on the ground himself.
Mentioned it last year, late November game, 9 rushes, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Felt his impact in that game. They have no problem going to him. Again, though, it's concerning if I'm a Boston College fan. Haven't seen Turbo Richard here in a quarter and a half or whatever it is. He's obviously a key piece to this offense.
DC in the Pitt territory. First time. Now they're out of Pitt territory. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Panthers. Rasheem Biles. And Jimmy Scott on the recovery. These linebackers are all over it. Biles, like his mate Lewis, forcing a fumble. Now in the NFL, he said all of them, all 3 linebackers remind him of Servassier Dennis. They have that game.
All 3 guys are homegrown talent too, which is extremely rare in the transfer portal era. They got some special ones. All very athletic too, which in today's game of football with RPOs and guys catching the rock in space, it's a good sign.
Coaches working the iPad, not just with the quarterbacks these days, but with the linebackers as well. There you see it.
Thought it was really interesting. We had this conversation with Dabo Sweeney at Clemson a couple weeks ago. Had it again this week with Cade Bell, Pitt's offensive coordinator, talking about the downsides of the iPads. You always hear about the upside, being able to listen to or watch cues and whatnot. But then you also get your mistakes right in front of you as well. How do you respond?
Heintschel has just about everything else down pat except for the slide. That was more like a fall, but at least he didn't get hurt, and he picked up a first down. Pitt moving quickly after the turnover. Heintschel directing traffic. They're going to keep it on the ground. Goff, nowhere to go.
Just expanding on that iPad point, I think it's just really interesting because I hadn't thought about it from the quarterback lens. It's great, you get to see the X's and O's and you get to learn what the defense is doing. But Cade Bell talked about, well, when you go to the sideline, there's no hiding. If you missed a wide open receiver, if you made a mistake, if you didn't pick up a protection, the quarterback in years past, you could hide and say, oh, I'll get you next time kind of thing. The ability to shrug that off and respond the next play, given that these are just college kids, vital with the iPad.
Turner picks up a couple inside. And from being a quarterback in the huddle, every receiver's coming back to that huddle telling you he's wide open, right?
I'm open.
So then you go to the sideline. Now he's like, see, I told you I was open.
Exactly. Or the flip side, as a quarterback, you say, oh, sorry, I missed it, man. I got hit or I got some pressure. Well, then you go to the iPad. If the receiver says, man, you didn't get pressured. I was wide open. Get the ball to your hands. It's a lot easier to say that from the receiver's lens versus when you're quarterback hanging back there in the pocket, taking hits. It's a whole different beast.
This Pitt offensive line continues to play banged up. And that's Lyndon Cooper.
It's one thing you cannot have happen if you're Pitt.
Kendra's down on the field with more on Lyndon Cooper.
You guys, before the half, I was watching Lyndon having to get stretched out by the trainers. He was getting the fluids in. You guys have been talking about how this O-line is just consistently getting banged up. Well, he was the guy that was constantly having to go to the trainers to get stretched out, so something to look out for.
Yeah, that's some work stretching out Lyndon Cooper, 6'2", 315, fifth-year senior out of Atlanta.
And they're going to move Ryan Coretta, who was the starting left guard back to center. He was the backup center a week ago. Put in a new left guard, so that whole left side is brand new.
Sweat it a lot less when you're up 31-0. Heintschel to throw. Easy pitch and catch over the middle. That's Williams. It's nailed at the 10. But another 15 yards. Omar Thornton again on the tackle. Got a text from Mark Herzlich, former colleague, now retired from the
Boston
broadcast
College
booth.
legend.
Yeah, he played linebacker at Boston College at halftime. He said, man, 0 for BC is really impressing him. Just the way he attacks the ball carrier. And he has had a ton of tackles today.
We had BC 2 weeks or last week. They were loving up on KP Price, the other safety. It's a good unit they have.
They've had to make a lot of tackles today, which is unfortunate for BC because the tackling ball carriers downfield. That one goes incomplete. Linebacker Jason Hewlett Jr. on coverage.
Boston College defensively, Tim Lewis, their defensive coordinator, you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. But then if you blitz guys, then you're putting your secondary, who's already thin, in one-on-one matchups versus Pitt receivers that have had a good day. So then you can't win either way. You go zone coverage, well then you're not rushing as many defenders towards the quarterback, and you put a lot of pressure on your defensive line. So, you know, no easy answers. Pick your poison if you're this BC defense.
Second down. Heintschel to throw. He can run. Instead has a receiver in the back of the end zone. Deuce Spann for 6. Yeah, look at that. Congratulations from Coach Narduzzi. This is a lot of poise from the quarterback.
And the awareness, too, to stay behind the line of scrimmage. But we've seen his ability to run. He says, nah, I'm going to stay a passer and find that fourth weapon, another transfer, Florida State transfer. Deuce Spann getting into the end zone.
Spann, who began his career as a quarterback at Illinois, transferred to Florida State as a receiver. Now he's the 8th different receiver in this game with a catch for Pitt. Budkowski with the PAT. And the Panthers continue their dominance. Spann getting all the love. And the last Panther to find the end zone. That's his first of the year. He joins his teammates Kenny Johnson, Juelz Goff, Jakarian Turner. They've all had great days offensively, as has Mason Heintschel. And this banged-up offensive line. Got to tip your cap to them as well. Shuffling bodies around all different positions, yet they've done a great job protecting their true freshman quarterback, Mason Heintschel. Green from his 5. Takes it out to the 23. Let's see this touchdown once again, Max.
Yeah, it was a nice little two-man concept here on the bottom of the screen. They're going to go a little control route and then a dig on the backside. This quarterback's going to leak out, stay behind the line of the scrimmage, and allows Deuce Spann, after running that dig route, to then just leak towards the back pylon. That's the concern if you're a defense. When a quarterback has mobility, can break the pocket, coverage breaks down, and at that point it's just recess backyard football. Get open. That's exactly what Pitt did.
BC had a little something going in their last offensive drive. They got into Pitt territory. One snap, their only snap of the entire afternoon. Next play was a turnover. That's going to be an incomplete pass, as Luke McLaughlin was the intended receiver. Mason James is now in a quarterback for BC.
And he started this game last year. Pitt fans, BC fans know him well. He's been productive. You know, last year had 1,200 yards passing. In his career, he's got 3,700 yards. So he's played a lot of football. This was a competition, very much so in the offseason, but between Lonergan and James, obviously it's been a slow start through 2.5 quarters. So they're going to give James a try.
Pitt bringing all kinds of pressure, and James is able to get rid of it. Route was jumped by a Panther defender. He was is Josh Greer, and James lucky to have this one back.
And again, getting more pressure. Pitt rushing 6. Only got 5 linebackers in there. It's just been relentless all day. It's been tight coverage on the outside. It's been defensive linemen and linebackers playing downhill. They've been on offense, it feels like, the defense. Always the one forcing the issue and forcing the BC offense to react.
Here they come again. That time the pass is behind McLaughlin, but he's able to make the catch at the 45. That was on a wing and a prayer from Grayson James, and it's answered.
Man, he fit that into a tight hole. Similar route to what we saw Jeremiah Franklin run early on in this game when it got stripped. Excellent job going down and getting the thing by Luke McLaughlin. You said hope and a prayer, but it is a nice job by Grayson James throttling his receiver down with that throw, not letting the safety get involved.
McDonald. He's giving him some good runs here in the second half. That's another one. Right at the yard marker to gain. They'll move the chains on that one. So Jordan McDonald, we didn't see him at all in the first half, really. He's been their primary back here in the second. We saw a little bit of McCormick, the freshman, in the first half, and a very little bit of Turbo. Again, they're going to go with McDonald. Sneaks through there for a couple.
Yeah, Grayson James, you know, Thomas Castellanos is getting a lot of pub. He now the Florida State quarterback. He was Boston College's quarterback a year ago, and Grayson James was brought in to bring this offense and give this offense a spark. He did that at times last year. That ultimately forced Tommy Castellanos to transfer. Florida State within conference is glad he did, but you know, it shows that they have belief in him. You know, not surprised they made the switch just given the score, but given how much, you know, excitement was around Lonergan and what he could be long term. Interesting decision.
Oh, James behind his receiver, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Shadarian Harrison.
Rolling on the field is an interception. First down, Pittsburgh.
Third turnover of the day for Boston College.
Right place, right time. Jordan McDonald, miscommunication with Grayson James. James thought he was hot. You can see his reaction. Wanted his running back to get his head around a little bit quicker. He doesn't. Pitt takes advantage. Harrison with the pick. You can tell right there he's frustrated. Not necessarily a bad decision, just poor timing. Running back's got to know he's hot. Quarterback's got to put a accurate throw on him.
Yeah, Pitt coming into this game, we talked about the issues for both of these teams in their losing streaks. Pitt turnover margin, not good. 121st in the country. They're trying to flip that script here today.
25.
Kieran Turner on the carry. Clive Wilson on the stop.
Boston College trying to take a page out of Pitt's book and trying to find a spark offensively. Pitt's found that today with that young man.
Heintschel. Now he rolls. Get what he can with his legs, and it's a pretty good run. He's about 3 yards shy of the first down.
Just so tough if you're BC's defense. That's good coverage. You know, in the meeting rooms, that's how you're drawn up. You're just not able to keep contained and really have impact with the defensive line because you're so thin. The credit Heintschel's legs. It's not there. He's able to leak out and get himself to third and manageable.
31 yards on the ground on 9 carries. Heintschel to throw. Looking for Goff out of the backfield. Can he wait for a blocker? It's enough for a first down and more. Down inside the 40. It's another really pretty design play.
Good job going through your progressions. It's not there. Get the ball into space. It's been efficient all day, Heintschel has. Just getting the ball out of his hands. Not forcing the issue. Taking what the defense gives him.
Heintschel steps up into the pocket. Has it tied in wide open. Another 10 yards. Jake Overman makes the catch. Good group of tight ends here for Pitt as well. Malachi Thomas, Jake Overman, Justin Holmes, a touchdown earlier in the day. Seen all three of them contribute big time.
And it's a group that had to replace Gavin Bartholomew, who was the starting tight end for Pitt for so many years. Great blocker, left a void in that offense. Those guys have stepped in.
So pick up a 9 on first down. So Bootsy adds the extra 2 or 3 to move the sticks. Pitt fans enjoying this performance today, certainly with high hopes for Mason Heintschel moving forward. And you showed him earlier, Desmond Reed in full uniform down on the field before the game. You don't know when he's going to be back, but certainly when he comes back, injecting him into this offense right now that we're seeing today, it's something Pitt fans can get excited about. Ball batted in the air and caught. Pick up of just a couple. This time Zion Fowler on the catch. Ate got a piece of it. It's Eli Holstein right there. And that's a tough position to be in, isn't it?
It is, and just so much expectations heading into the season, and just the month of September didn't align. I mean, such a hot September in 2024, and you know, it doesn't work out. And it's tough mentally too, because this in his mind, this is his team. In his mind, he's saying, man, I could have been 38-0 versus Boston College versus this defensive line. But he's not. You got to stay ready. That's one of the hardest things too. You know, in my college career, I was at USC benched for Sam Darnold, and it's easy to check out. It's easy to start thinking about your next chapter. I mean, that's just human nature. But then, oh, by the way, you're still one hit away. You know, you're still one play away from being right back in there. So mentally, it's tough to stay in it.
They're reviewing to see if this pass went off an offensive lineman's helmet. So did it touch an offensive player and then into the hands of Zion Fowler? Yep, off of the player right next to Heintschel.
You're talking about different arm angles, usually when it's a benefit to avoid defenders, not when it is to do whack-a-mole off your own player's helmet.
Well, while they review this play, you see Ryan Baer.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Second down.
So the ruling on the field was incomplete. I'm guessing, because that ball clearly went off player's helmet.
Second down, 8.
No, it's second down and 8, so we're calling it a catch.
Yeah.
Heintschel to throw. Again underneath. Turner. Still on his feet. That may be the difference between a third down and 1 and a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Yeah, they're going to mark it a first down.
Good job by Turner, breaking a tackle, taking the defense gives you. Check down right there.
Officials timeout on the field for injury. Officials timeout for injury.
And done it on 25 of 35 passing. For this to be your first start and seeing the field this well, he does not look like a true freshman. He's done exactly what Cade Bell, his offensive coordinator, has asked of him, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. We've seen his legs be a factor. And then just decisive all day long. There's been no indecision, not sure where to go with the football. Mason Heintschel's been in complete command during his first start.
4 for 4 on this drive, hitting 4 different receivers, keeping it on the ground here with Goff. Just moves the pile. That was a 3rd and 1. That's where they mark it before that timeout. And Goff will pick up the first down. Here you can see Heintschel's numbers on the day. First career start, the true freshman. Started the day hitting Kenny Johnson like crazy in the first half, but in the second half, he's gone more to backs, more to tight ends. He's really spread it around.
Just looks so comfortable. No sense of him thinking or unsure where to go with the football or who's lining up where. Complete command for a young quarterback.
To throw again. Stepping up. Tried to spin out of a tackle. Nothing doing there. He'll lose about 3. So Darius McConnell on the tackle.
During that timeout, too, they had Jason Hewlett, the middle linebacker for Boston College, was out. We've already talked about them having other injuries at that position. So, you know, Boston College, like we've said all day, going deep into the depth chart.
Yeah, you mentioned it, the players that are out. Crouch out, Bryce Steele out with a concussion after last week at linebacker spot for BC. Touchdown over the middle. Easy. That time it was Zion Fowlerell, and everybody eats today for the Pitt Panthers.
Officials timeout on the field for injury.
Another great decision, accurate throw on time. You can see him throw into that open window. Ball popping off his hand, accurate, catchable throw. Making that look easy and taking advantage of right where Jason Hewlett would normally be playing in that linebacker spot. Boston College put KP Price, the former safety, at linebacker there. You attack that vacated zone and come up with a touchdown.
Butkowski's busy day continues. He will now add another point to the ledger. 45-0 Pitt.
Nice little seam route, bending behind the linebackers in front of the safety. Have to be on time, because if you're late at all, the backside safety comes involved. We said it, 9 different receivers getting involved. It's really been the every row of the receiver room when they go to Monday morning meetings is going to be smiling, because they've all been fed. That right there is a good iPad day. Pat Narduzzi's probably been pulling that iPad out the past couple games, scratching his head. Not today.
Wanted to throw it down.
We saw it right there, that time of possession too. That's one thing that worked against Pitt a week ago against Louisville. They lost the time of possession battle mightily, put their defense in a tough position. Big factor for why they lost that game in the second half. Today, Pitt offense has been hogging the football.
Bo McCormick back to receive this kick for BC. And he'll watch it sail over his head. Tonight, after our Field Pass presentation of the Miami-Florida State game, check out the ACC Huddle final score. Crew's going to be on hand to wrap up the whole day. Highlights, analysis, interviews with players, coaches. They got you covered here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. I'm sure they will be discussing at great length Mason Heintschel's debut as a starting quarterback today for the Pitt Panthers, and what it means for them moving forward. Max, we haven't really gotten into it that much, but I'm sure we will here in the upcoming fourth quarter. The remaining schedules for these two teams, both of them, not exactly a walk in the park. McDonald has a big hole to run through and was a shoestring tackle away from maybe breaking that one. Still, he was able to get a good 8 yards on first down, and that's not good. He comes up hobbling. He's going to have to check out.
Man, Boston College can't catch a break injury-wise. They're going to put Turbo Richard back in, though. Good to see at least Turbo's healthy. McDonald obviously banged up.
Turbo here, trying to spin free. Does so enough to move the sticks. Like the tent over on the Boston College sideline is so full of players. Jordan McDonald has to wait for his turn to go into the injury tent.
Nightmare for Bill O'Brien, and that's the compounding effect with injuries, right? When your depth gets tested, guys have to play more snaps. More snaps means to less energy, higher likelihood of getting hurt, and it's a snowball effect.
James looking to throw, gets it to Bond. This is why they want to have it in his hands. He is dangerous after the catch.
Games in the fourth quarter, so look out for that, guys.
Yeah, we showed the graph earlier in the game of how well they've done shutting out opponents in the first quarter. And their downfall has been the second half, and specifically the fourth quarter this year. Now, not that it's going to make a difference in today's final outcome, but Max, it's a matter of, just, kind of having that established that you're a fourth quarter team, and they haven't been able to do that yet this year.
Especially when you have that man as your head coach, more of a gritty defensive identity to your team. You want to close games out. The old defensive coordinator in him probably wants to keep that goose egg too, to hold a conference team to just 0 points. It matters. It's one of those games that you can look back on with very much a feather in your cap if you can get it done.
And Boston College has had a hard time running the football as Turbo is forced outside. He'll be tackled for a short loss of about 2.
We haven't seen much from Turbo Richard today. Interesting coach's decision, something going on there, but he had a great week a week ago, 15 rushes, 171 yards. They've gone with other backs. There's nothing going in this BC run game. Pitt secondary, Pitt linebackers, they've been all over the field.
Grayson James to throw. Trying to get it to Harris, just a little bit too far for number 4. James came in relief for Dylan Lonergan. Gave a little bit of a spark at first. How difficult is it in terms of timing? Something like that with Reed Harris on that out route where you aren't getting first team reps all week long, and now you're expected to go in there and hit a guy like 4 on the out.
Yeah, it's tough, and he had him a little corner route. Reed Harris took it high, more towards the end zone. Grayson James trying to flatten him off more, and you said it, when you're not getting those reps, sometimes those little things, miscommunicate, and that's kind of been the story of the day for BC's passing attack.
Pitt coming with pressure on 3rd and 12. Lonergan gets rid of it, and that off the defender's helmet. Sean Lee again, the true freshman out of Harrisburg, PA.
This is excellent coverage. You're sitting with one-on-one coverage on the outside. You squeeze the receiver to the sideline. They're really excited about this true freshman corner. They've had some great corners during their time. Pat Narduzzi, that is, as the head man at Pitt. To have a true freshman starting at corner, excellent coverage right there. Excellent series by Lee. We saw him come up, make a tackle in space, then get it done in coverage. That's what Pat Narduzzi wants from his corners.
Now Lee made his first start against West Virginia, including special teams, played over 110 plays in that game. This punt for Florio. Out of bounds inside. Positive play by Boston College, especially offensively. What a catch by Reed Harris in the first half.
Yeah, to come down with this thing, get your left leg down, come down with the catch. You just didn't see enough of this today. Pitt's banking on the fact that even when they put their corner on islands, or on an island, that you can't, come up consistently enough with those types of plays, and that was very much the case today. Reed Harris only really had one. Lewis Bond never really had a vertical opportunity as well.
Goff. Pitt's going to try and run some clock here in this fourth quarter. Heintschel still in there. Pitt will put this game behind them and go on the road for their next 2 at Florida State and at Syracuse before NC State comes here on October 25th. I don't even want to know what their schedule is like in November. Nice job downfield. That's Bryce Yates, the true freshman.
Chris, there's the Pitt side of this, which obviously this is exactly what they hoped for coming into this game. And we said in our open, it goes one of 2 ways. But for Boston College and Bill O'Brien, the question's going to be, how does this team respond? It's really the first game they've been blown out. They've been right there the past 3 games, 1-3. could convince yourself there's a world where they were 3-1 or 4-0 if a couple plays went a different direction. I mean, we had Cal last week, and it came down to just one interception, but this schedule is not easy. Clemson, big bounce-back game today. Last time I saw, they were up big on North Carolina. Louisville, that's a quality team. Notre Dame's obviously no joke. SMU with Kevin Jennings at quarterback, they're looking to respond. Like, you know, this could get ugly if this roster doesn't respond. And again, in year 2, you're hoping to have somewhat of a jump. This roster is going to be tested.
Span right at the 50. Heintschel has gone over 300 on the day. Boston College player down.
On the field for injury.
There's Owen McGowan. The linebacker core, everybody's banged up. I shouldn't just say the linebackers. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary.
So this is Owen McGowan getting his bell rung. His backup was Jason Hewlett, or that Hewlett was other linebacker. If he is in fact out, I mean, you're talking about a Boston College defense that has their top 4 corners out, their top 4 linebackers out, their best pass rusher is out, potentially, or at least, very least, banged up.
Quan Williams didn't play today. You could say he's their
defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's their best run stopper inside. It's been brutal.
This is, you know, Boston College is not a team that has the NIL resources like others to go in the portal and be really aggressive, so it's tough.
Heintschel rolling the pocket. It's Josh Altsman, the tight end. And that's an efficient pass completion to move the sticks. Bill O'Brien at Boston College, where, you know, he inherited a team last year with Castellanos as his quarterback, and everybody thinks about O'Brien as being a guy who can handle NFL quarterbacks and knows what he's doing there. And maybe Castellanos wasn't the right type of quarterback for him, but I think people thought Lonergan was, the transfer from Alabama. The jury is still out as to whether that's going to work or not. Turner. Good run inside the 30. Made the change today to go with Grayson James here in the second half.
Yeah, to that point, too, it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward, because Grayson James, this is his last year of college football. You kind of know what you got with Grayson James. With Lonergan, you know, you knew there was going to be some growing pains. Do you stick with him and try to grow through that, knowing he's got a bright future? That'll be the decision Bill O'Brien's got to make, is, you know, short term versus sticking with Lonergan long term. Maybe he, you know, gets those growing pains out of the way this next month, and then his future's brighter.
Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Holding call will back Pitt up. That's their first penalty in the second half after a first half filled with them. So Narduzzi has to be happy about that, among a lot of other things today. Coach O'Brien did tell us when we were meeting with him that they really loved the recruiting class they got this past spring. They really felt like it was chock full of players. We've named a bunch of them here today that have had to play, especially on defense, because of all the injuries, but players that are going to contribute at just about every level, offensively and defense, on this team moving forward. So the building blocks are there. But to your point, Max, I mean, you're going to have to make a decision at some point in time what you want to do with that quarterback spot here moving forward. Heintschel just chucks this one away.
Really, to me, for BC, the reason the quarterbacks struggled is you just haven't been able to get the run game going, which Pitt, you could tell that was their game plan. So we're going to take that away, force you to win on the outside. And they just haven't been able to do that. They did lose 2 NFL draft pick offensive linemen from last year's squad. Bill O'Brien did. It's tough. It's one of those things, too. You get the negative snowball effect. Go on the road to Michigan State, lose that one, lose a tough one to Stanford, across the country, a couple time zones away, and then last week Cal, and again here.
25,
Turner gets banged down by Carter Davis.
On the flip side, for Pitt, it feels like this is the game where maybe it breaks the seal and allows them to exhale. I mean, I said this in the open, but Pitt was a team that some people had as a dark horse ACC title team, dark horse CFP title team, or CFP contender. Didn't start the season that way. Felt like one slipped away a little bit versus West Virginia. Similar deal last week versus Louisville.
They were up 17-0 in the first half of that Louisville game.
Yep.
Couple of plays, one on special teams, really turned the tide in that game, and then they couldn't get it back. Turner just trying to pick and weave his way through.
This is not a Pitt team that I'd want to play if they start heating up.
And if they get Reed back healthy.
Yeah.
So Butkowski into attempts 47-yard kick. I gave him the moniker butt kicker in the first half. I think it should stick. I hope it does. And with kicks like that, maybe it will. 3 more on the board for Pitt. There's no doubt that he had complete control of this team. McCormick gonna give it a shot. Oh, he gets absolutely drilled at the 12. Emmanuel Taylor on special teams. Take a listen.
Football is a violent sport. Wonder why they're trying to take kickoffs out of the game a little bit. Hits like that, but hey, for the loyalists, that's what you love about ball. Clean tackle, running down there with your hair on fire, making a play.
James stayed in the game, a quarterback for Boston College.
That's 24 McCormick.
Cole McCormick. True freshman out of Westford, Mass. Gotten some run today. James to throw. He gets a McCormick out of the backfield, and that ball was tipped where James' arm was hit as an incomplete pass.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Mention what Pitt's got coming up next for Boston College. We showed you their schedule as well, specifically Clemson. Primetime ACC network next Saturday night. Here's what Pitt has coming up. Shows you their next 4. I mean, at Florida State, at Syracuse, NC State. Their last 3 games of the season: Notre Dame, at Georgia Tech, Miami. That was a tough 3-game stretch to end the season, which is why, as we've been saying all day, today is a pivotal game for them. Over the middle, that's a nice pass, but defended equally as well by Pitt. Josh Gruyere.
Another one of these true freshmen. You mentioned, Chris, them being excited about this true freshman class. Gruyer's another one of those guys, backup safety, making an excellent play on the football there. It's kind of been the story of Boston College's passing game today. I mean, it's a fine throw, bang, bang play. You just don't come down with it.
Gruyere was the top-rated recruit in Boston College's class in the spring of 25, so fired up about him and getting some playing time. Poppy Williams is going to pick this one up on a bounce, but can't pick it up. Now it's loose. EC players say they've got it. And the officials agree.
That was the big play Boston College has been waiting on since the first half. Really one of the first mistakes of the day from Pitt. A little muff punt from Poppy Williams trying to make a play. The Eagles swarm around it, come down with it.
I was looking to see Luke McLaughlin coming down, full head of steam toward him.
You better believe Pitt and Pat Narduzzi, they want to keep this shutout.
The previous play is under review for a potential targeting foul.
And we're going to review this for targeting. And we'll be right back. Booth is reviewing whether Boston College's Luke McLaughlin is guilty of targeting. There it is right there on Poppy Williams. Take another look at it from a different angle. This is a tough one, Max.
This is one of the most difficult ones I've seen because the receiver is
After
so
further
low.
review, there's a personal foul targeting on the kicking team, number 83. He has been disqualified. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, half the distance, and we're going to replay fourth down.
I don't know what the coaching point is, which oftentimes we say that there, but the receiver is so low. I don't know how you make that tackle without doing what he did, which is nature of the beast. And BC's lucky that, you know, McLaughlin, he's a receiver. Last thing they need is another receiver out, but they're lucky that this is not a starter, because if that's a starter, he's suspended for the first half of the next game. If this game was closer, that would have been an impact play. That's just a tough kind of the realities of the new age of football.
It's just insult to injury for Coach O'Brien. What else could possibly go wrong today? So he sends his punter back out there to punt from the back of his own end zone. A reprieve for Poppy Williams. He'll be back to receive this punt again. This time now all the way up at his own 42.
Yeah, you miss out on a muff punt, getting the ball back in plus territory. Instead, you're punting with your punter's heels in the end zone.
Poppy's just going to let this one bounce out of bounds near midfield. Still got a lot of football left to be played here today on the ACC network. Syracuse SMU coming up next following us. Got number 3 Miami, number 18 Florida State. When was the last time those two teams met as ranked teams? Coming up, Field Pass presentation, 7:30 Eastern on the ESPN app, as always, and on the ACC network.
Intrigued to see how those Miami defensive ends match up versus Castellanos in this running game. Florida State gives you a lot of eye candy, a lot to manage for those pass rushers for the Canes.
Eli Holstein now back in a quarterback for Pitt. He's the starter for the Panthers for the first 4 games of the year. Mason Heintschel came in, the true freshman, and started today. Holstein now looks like he's going to wrap this thing up for Pitt.
He is a guy that got off to a great start a year ago, 7-0, then got banged up. Big expectations this fall camp. Mentioned it earlier, Pat Narduzzi was as confident in him as heading into a season at the quarterback spot really since the Kenny Pickett days.
Holstein pumps. It's Saltzman.
It's really a mentality character check too. You know, you're a starter, high expectations going into the season. Now you have to come in during mop-up duty. It's tough mentally for that. I'm sure in his mind he's saying, I could have done what the starter did today, but still got to stay in it. Still got to stay in it and take advantage of these reps.
A little too far away from his receiver. Isaiah Ferris in coverage on Zion Fowlerell. Good to see Isaiah Ferris for Boston College being able to play this entire game. He had a hammy coming in. Weren't even sure he was going to be able to play a cornerback.
One thing too, in the NIL era of college football, you invested a lot of resources in Eli Holstein, to keep him here, starting quarterback in the ACC. That's more the salary cap kind of conversations that usually are for pro football. It's a factor today in college football where, it's a lot of investment sitting on the sideline for your offense.
Shunko punts this one into the end zone for the touchback. Well, a week ago, both starting quarterbacks for these two teams were Alabama transfers and high-level recruits in Holstein and Lonergan. And now the questions arise, I think, clearly for Pitt. Heintschel's performance today tells you he's the man for them, at least for next week's game against Florida State in Tallahassee. And then for Boston College, I think Dylan Lonergan, Grayson James. Now they're going to start bring in the true freshman, I should say, Shaker Reisig out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, going to get some play today. Bo McCormick on the carry.
Able to get true freshman quarterbacks in the game these days with the updated redshirt rule. Guys can play up to 4 games without burning their red shirt. Advantageous in situations like that. Get young quarterbacks some live action.
McCormick falls forward, just shy of the first down.
You know, Chris, you were talking about Lonergan and Eli Holstein, 2 former Alabama quarterbacks, now obviously transferred to new schools. That quarterback room, though, when you look back, had Lonergan, had Holstein, had Julian Saint, Ohio State starter, Ty Simpson, and Jalen Milroe.
Oh, McCormick is hit right at the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up the first down, but it certainly wasn't easy. Cameron Lindsey. Well, you're a linebacker in this room. When you get an opportunity to make plays, you're not going to get very many opportunities. But Cameron Lindsey, that star back, made the most of that opportunity and hammered McCormick in the hole.
It's got to be a dream to be a linebacker in this defensive scheme. Got to be easy for Pat Narduzzi, or easier to recruit that position too.
Down the middle. Rising hits a tight end. Kalen Shudzinski. Shudzinski showed us last week in their loss to Cal. He's a pass-catching tight end. He can do a lot of things downfield.
He's a fellow true freshman as well. Nice touch right there from the young quarterback. Layering the football, knowing that Pitt doesn't have safety help downfield. Excellent throw.
Nowhere to go for McCormick. Drop for a loss. And Ibrahim on the tackle.
McCormick runs hard. He's taking some hits today. For true freshman running back, sticking his nose in there. Those guys are used to it. Usually they're the scout team backs, getting live action today, but running hard.
Reisig the throw. Over the middle. Again hits Shudzinski. It'll be first and goal for the Eagles.
It's a nice job. Throws a catchable football, tight spiral, getting the ball to his hands. We've seen Heintschel make that throw a couple times. Now the other freshman quarterback doing it.
McCormick. Down to the 2.
We talked about earlier this quarter. It'll be really interesting to see what Bill O'Brien does at quarterback next week. I mean, Reisig showing some good things, but again, Lonergan, he played really well those first few weeks. I mean, I had my ACC transfer quarterback list 2 weeks ago, and he made the top 5 list. Like,
it's a fluid list.
It's always working. It's a working list.
It really is. Well, you know, a lot of these transfers that are coming in haven't played a lot of snaps in the schools where they came from, so there's a little bit of a mystery there.
And there's so many of them, too. So many transfer quarterbacks around the conference. Third and goal, though. Better believe Pat Narduzzi's defense wants to keep the shutout. Older guys yelling at the younger guys on the sideline to uphold the standard.
Reisig sidearms at Shudzinski for the touchdown. Reisig's first career touchdown pass. Kalen Shudzinski's first career touchdown catch. And the Eagles are on the board. Luca Lombardo for the BAT. Boston College trying to build something toward the future. Finds the end zone for the first time today. Numbers speak for themselves, and no bigger numbers than those 2 at the bottom. 48-7, Pitt on top, under 2 to play. Span's got to take it out. Avoids a couple of tackles. Out to the 28. Everything impressive today from Heintschel, wasn't it?
It's been nearly perfect. A little bit of everything. The quick passing game. His legs getting involved. Just looked in full command. Getting the ball to his hands quickly. Did not look like a true freshman in his first start, which is a big reason why he was getting his first start. Just a lot of trust in what Mason Heintschel could do. Pat Narduzzi and offensive coordinator Cade Bell have to be extremely pleased. This is very much what they hope for. Not easy to make that decision and bench a guy like Eli Holstein, who does have a lot of talent, but the upset of Heintschel on full display today.
Caleb Williams ends his drive. Picks up a couple.
You know, it is interesting too in this NIL era. I mentioned it with Eli Holstein and, you know, the amount of investment you gave him, but with guys like Heintschel, I mean, in today's tampering world, if a school gets word that, hey, this Heintschel guy is doing some good things on the practice field, there's nothing stopping a different school from saying, hey, we'll come in here and you go be our starting quarterback. And so you're maybe, in today's age of football, more incentivized to play some of those hotshot youngsters because you don't want to lose them long term. Obviously, Narduzzi is focused about the here and now, but there is very much a long-term factor in that decision.
Holstein carries it as we take inside of a minute.
Man, the training room is going to be busy
Officials
this
timeout.
week. Chestnut Hill.
Man.
Stay.
Syracuse and SMU.
Because the game
Still to
clock is
come.
inside 2 minutes, the injury does include a 10-second runoff. Game clock operator. Boston College will use a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. It's their first of the half. It's 30 seconds.
Using the timeout.
Bill O'Brien's like, man, my depth's getting tested. I need those guys to get all the reps they can.
The opposite of that is, I don't want to get another guy hurt.
True.
Let's run fewer plays.
Out of here.
So Holstein will take the snap. A little push pass forward. That'll be a first down for Pitt. All that remains is one more knee, and that should do it. Another young player they're excited about. Receiver, Kinsler.
Big win for Pitt. Exactly how they drew it up. Get their season back on track. We said in the open, whoever wins this game, you know, on a track to potentially be bowl eligible. Whoever loses it, gonna have a tough battle. Bounce back game for literally every position for Pitt.
That one from Holstein falls incomplete. So maybe there's more left than just taking a knee.
It's Holstein trying to get those extra yards and a little RPO. At this point, probably should just hand the ball off. Maybe Pat Narduzzi is saying if Bill O'Brien's taking a timeout, well, then we're going to play normal football against you.
Holstein will carry it himself. Got blockers in front of him. And that is going to do it. The true freshman quarterback, Mason Heintschel. Final thoughts on his performance today?
He was phenomenal. The future is very bright for him. this Pitt team, and Pat Narduzzi's got to like what he saw from his team and his young quarterback.